Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In my previous video, I said I was going to show you how I made the mermaid part of this dress through the slash and spread method. If this sounds interesting to you, please stick to the end of this video. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you. If you're here to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment on this video. And please do set the notification bell so that anytime I upload a video, you'll be the first to get it. Thank you, and let's dive into it. This is our starting point, right? That's our starting line, okay? So we are going to take from the waist, we are going to be taking our hip line measurement, which is 8 for this tutorial, right? From the waist to the hip is 8 inches. Okay, so the next thing we'll be doing is we are going to be taking the knee length measurement. Okay, we are going to be, the knee length measurement is 22, right? We are going to be minusing 3. That is where the shape of the mermaid will be coming out from. Okay, so that it will not be too tight. So we are going up by 3 inches from the actual knee length measurement, right? So what we are working with is 19. Okay, after which you have to connect. Okay, you have to connect the lines, right? And the total length of this skirt is going to be 58. So we are going to get the total length 58, right? 58, and we are going to be adding 2 inches allowance, right, to make it 60 altogether. So we'll be working with length 60. Okay, I'm trying to make sure that the lines are straight. Okay, you measure your 60 inches. Okay, and the next thing I'll be doing now is to connect. Okay, when you are done, you connect it, right? So we are going back to the waistline. Okay, the waist we are working with. Okay, before that, let's label it. Okay, this is the hip line, this is the nail. Okay, and the other part is the skirt length. Okay, so we'll start with the waist. Okay, our waist we are working with is 30 inches. 30 divided by 4 is going to give you 7.5. So we are going to mark 7.5 with our 2 inches seam allowance. You can do 1.5, you can do 1 depending. And the hip we are working with is 40 inches. And 40 inches divided by 4 will give us 10 plus our 2 inches seam allowance. Okay, so the next will be our nail. Okay, for us to determine the measurement we're using for our nail, you are going to minus either 5 or 6, okay, or 4, depending on the size of the person from your hip measurements. Okay, the hip we are working with is 40. We are going to be removing 5 from the hip measurement and divide it by 4, which will give us 8.75. Okay, then we add our 2 inches allowance. That is for our nail, right? Okay, the next thing we'll be doing now is to take our hip measurements down to the base. Okay, our hip divided by 4 is 10 inches, so we are going to be marking 10 inches with 2 inches seam allowance, and that will be all for the front. Okay, so let's go ahead and connect. Okay, don't forget the dart is optional. For me, I'm not imputing any darts on the down part of this dress, right? So the next thing I'm doing now is just to connect. Okay, I've connected the waist to the hip, now the hip to the nail. Okay, now is to connect to the base, the nail to the base. Okay, I'll be using my straight ruler, okay, to get the right, okay, measurement, right? Okay, can you see? And this will be all for the front side. Okay, so let's cut together, right? I'll be starting from the base of the skirt. Okay, just watch me while I cut. right? Okay, make sure you follow the exact line, okay, where you rule, in order not to go and add more measurement to your dress, right? Okay, so back to the waistline, and that is it. It's as simple as that. Okay, the front is ready. So we are going to be using the front to draft out the back pattern, right? This is the front. Okay, so we are going to draft out the back pattern now. So I'm going to place the front pattern on another paper, right? On another paper for us to draft the back. So now I've placed my paper on my front pattern on another paper, right? Okay, so I had to pin it down to make it firm, and don't forget I left some space here, okay, where we are going to be taking our zip allowance, right? So the zip allowance I want to take out is 2 inches. Okay, I'm going to mark out 2 inches first. That might not be the actual measurement I'm using, but I'm going to mark out 2 inches space. Okay, don't also forget to rule out, okay, so that there will be no mistake, right? Okay, so I took 1.5 inches for zip allowance at the waist and 2 inches at the hip area, and I came down by 5 inches because I'm trying to contour that place a bit, okay, so that it will be a bit shapy, right? So what I'm going to be doing now is to rule out my waistline, okay, and connect the zip allowance I have there to the hip. Don't forget it's 1.5, and the one at the hip side is 2 inches, right? 2 inches at the hip area and 1.5 at the waist area. Okay, now I'm going to be linking the hip area to where I marked 5 inches, okay, for contour, right? Can you see what I'm doing? Can you see the shape we have there right now? Okay, okay, and that will be all, okay, that we have at the back part. Okay, don't also forget to trim off, okay, just watch the way I'm cutting it. Okay, I don't have to fast forward here so that you get the exact way I had to cut it. Can you see? Immediately I got to where I have that 5 inches, right? I had to continue straight down because we already have allowance at the front part, right? So I just had to continue that same line, right? I did not add anything to the back part except for the zipper area, okay? So just watch me as I cut through, okay? If this video has been helpful to you, why not hit the subscribe button? Why not like, share, comment on this video, and do set the notification bell in case anytime I post a video, you'll be the first to receive it. Thank you. All right, I'm trying to cut through, okay? Okay, so now that we are done cutting, this is what we have. Can you see the shape of the back pattern, right? Okay, so I'm going to be removing the pins, okay, but before that, okay, I'm trying to mark where I have the new line and the hip, okay? So I'm going to be ruling it out as soon as I remove the pins or I remove the front pattern from the back, right? So I'm going to be removing the front pattern, okay? So this is the front. Don't forget to label, and that is the back, right? So I'm going to be ruling those lines, connecting them together. Okay, this is our hip line, don't forget. And this is our new line, right? So this is our back pattern. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to measure to be sure we have the actual measurements there. So we are correct. Okay, so that is that. So let's go back to the front pattern. Okay, on the new line, right? You are going to measure what you have there and divide it into two. We are trying to get the midpoint. You divide it into two. Okay, you come down, you also measure and mark the midpoint. That is how you're going to be doing it till you get to the base of the skirt, right? Okay, you also measure to get the midpoint, okay, so that you are going to be ruling a straight line across, okay, right? Okay, so when you are done with that, the next thing I'm trying to reconfirm to be sure I'm at the midpoint. So the next thing we'll be doing is to use our long ruler to connect the dotted lines, right? To make a straight line at the middle. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? So this is it, right? So we are going to be slashing. Like I told us, we are using the slash and spread method. We are going to be slashing from the down part. Okay, we are going to be slashing from the down part. Just watch me as I slash it open, right? Okay, and you move towards your hip area. Okay, you move towards not your center front this time, but the side, right? Where we have our hip curved out, right? Can you see? We've been able to slash the front, and that is how you are going to place it on your fabric. So we are done with the front. Let's move over to the back. Okay, so we are going to repeat the same thing that we did at the front. Okay, you are going to get the midpoint, but before that, I want to just take 1 inch. I'm going in by 1 inch from the zip area. Can you see? I'm going in by 1 inch all the way, right? All the way, all the way. Just watch what I'm doing. I'm going in by 1 inch all the way. Okay, before I get the midpoint at the nail, I had to take out 1 inch all the way. This helps to make the skirt look perfect on you, right? It's going to be perfect on your body, right? So these are new, right? So from our new length, we are going to be dividing it into two, okay? To measure it and get the midpoint. Okay, we measure the other part as well and get the midpoint, just like we did at the front part, right? At this point, if you have not hit the subscribe button, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please hit the subscribe button. Okay, so now we are going to be dividing the nail into two, and we are going to take a straight line across, which I just did now, right? Can you see it? Okay, so the next thing is for us to slash it open, okay, to get our mermaid effect. So you can see me slashing it open from the down part. Okay, when I got to the nail, right, I'm going to move towards the hip area. Okay, I'm going to move towards the hip area. If you want to leave it like this at this point, it's okay, but if you also want it to have a tail at the back, that is why you slash open this other part. Can you see what I'm doing? Right, can you see? Okay, so it's also going to have a fuller part by the side and a tail at the back of the skirt. That is why I had to slash open the zipper area. Can you see what we have for the back? Like I said, I'm not imputing any dot on this, right? I'm not imputing any dot. So this is what we have at the end of the day. And we had to move over to place it on the fabric. You can see me placing it on my fabric. Okay, I'm trying to pin it down. That's the front part of it. Make sure your fabric is on fold. Okay, to get the front is on fold, to get the back is also on fold, right? So my fabric is on fold. Okay, if you have a larger table, all good and fine. If not, you place it on the floor, right, to avoid mistakes. So I had to pin down. Okay, I had to pin down, and when I'm done, I had to start cutting, right? Let's cut together. Okay, so now that we are done cutting, can you see what we have for the front? Okay, so I had to place for the back as well. This fabric is also on fold. Okay, don't forget that as you are spreading it, you spread as much as you want. Make sure you measure what you have in between the front and the back. Okay, in between both papers, make sure you measure if you want it 10 inches, 7 inches, 5 inches, depending on what you want. Okay, make sure you measure it for the front and the back, and you spread as much as you want, right? So I'm going to be cutting out the back pattern. So this is what we have at the end of the day. Can you see the back pattern? So beautiful, so full. Can you see the tail that we have at the back and the sides, right? The effect it has on the dress. And if you want to know how to make the upper part of this dress, okay, I will drop the link in the description box, right? You just go out and check it out and give it a try. I will be waiting for your feedback in the comment section. And if you have any question, don't fail to drop it. Please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.